You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Miriam Gonzalez and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's LA Complex After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's LA Complex After Show.
Hello, everyone. Bing is for doing, and we are here doing another exciting after show for the LA Complex. Another beautiful night in Hollywood.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So before we do anything else, let's introduce everyone. I'm Emile Ennis Jr., and I'm joined here with...
I'm Kellie.
I'm Miriam.
She thought surprised.
Ladies is always first.
I know. I'm just, I'm just being, I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not traditional sometimes.
And I'm Bamm Ericsen.
And we're doing, what, episode 2 tonight?
Yes, season 2,
Season 2, episode 2.
It's called The Contract, and we had another great, exciting episode. We're on Twitter, I think. Kellie has her iPad right there, so if you want to tweet with us, we'll see your tweets and we'll try to address any pertinent questions or comments if we can.
And that's at AfterBuzz TV.
We're at AfterBuzz TV.
Yeah, and you can tweet at me directly, Kellie with an IE079, and we can get some of your questions answered.
Yes, she has a lot of followers.
We're still working on ours.
Still working, but we got a ways to go.
Kellie, what did you call it? Tossback Tuesday or something? For following them.
Oh, yeah. We need to do that. Sorry, that was like a while ago. I'm like, wait, I don't remember. Yes, we need to do a special, something like that, so they can get more followers. Sorry, I'm looking up like the hashtag for LA Complex and seeing what people are saying.
Nice.
So far, everybody's really excited that Cal's alive.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because that's the cliffhanger.
Yeah, last week for the first episode of season 2, we had Kaldrick and Tyreek's interaction and Tyreek leaving. Kaldrick being a little on the downside, so he goes and he slits his wrists. And that was just kind of scary.
Now, there's been a lot of...
Now, did you think that he slit his wrist, or did you think he hit his head?
No.
He definitely slit his wrist as well.
There was a blade on the floor.
What?
He slit his wrists, and I think he was just trying to end his life in the last episode. Also, in the last episode, we had Nick and Abby were finally together, and they were playing house. They now live together. They now are booking jobs, and that's exciting for both of them. She booked a Christian show, and he booked being a writer, which he's never done before, for a television show. And then we left Connor and Raquel. They were interesting. Connor burned his house down, which today we found is in like 2 days.
Yeah.
2 days ago. And he moves in with Raquel, and she's preggo and is scared to tell him and hoping that it's his kid. So it was a really interesting first episode to lead us to tonight's episode.
And then Alicia left, thank God.
Oh, Alicia left, which Bamm is excited about that.
You know what? I'm not going to say anything because some people made on Twitter that
I saw that
I'm mean, but they said I was meaner for another show, and I was like, for real? And then they remember what I said, and it was like, no, you're meaner on LA Complex. So I'm not going to say anything about Alicia.
Well, I'll say this: we're here to break down the show. We're here to break down the characters. We're here to, get to the meat and potatoes of things. If you like everything and everyone, then you're just one of those guys, and you're not. You're real. You're like, no, I don't like what I see. So I like your meanness. You call it as you see it.
You hear that, you guys, Twitter people? That's right.
And it's good for everyone to have an opinion.
Right.
That's the thing.
Exactly.
That keeps the discussion going, And that's why we say tweet us, go to iTunes, leave comments, rate us and all that, because it helps us do a better show and want to know what you guys are thinking. And if it makes Bambi nicer, hey, I'm all for that.
I like him mean.
One of the things I noticed on Twitter today, there's a lot of Ben Watson fans, Tariq fans, who were really upset at his departure from last week because obviously he's not going to be on the show for a while. And it's going to be interesting to see his return when he finally does return, how that's going to play out. But
I'm a little upset that he's not there, but I think that once he comes back and he and Kaldrick are probably going to get together or have some type of communication or something, everyone's going to fall back in love and be like, oh, you know. So I think it's for this. I think it's for the sake of the storyline,
Right.
which is why we won't see him for a while. But I think when he comes back, everyone will be talking about it.
Right.
Well, he's such a strong character too that it's so he's not going to be forgotten. I don't think at all.
Oh, no, their storyline
So,
is very,
yeah.
very important. It's a big, prominent part of the show, I feel. And if he were to stay during this time with Kaldrick's, all this stuff happening with Kaldrick, he's dealing with his stuff. Like, it's building their storyline to be even
Right.
stronger than what it already is. I mean, it's a pretty strong. In fact, I think we've all agreed across the board that storyline is probably the number one storyline of the whole cast. Is Kaldrick and Tyreek.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about hot mess number 1 and 2, Connor and Raquel.
I'm like really starting to love their sappy, like very insecure, and they both need help characters.
Yeah.
I'm
Because
really embracing
last
them.
episode he got drunk and threw a party and got drunk and told her he wanted to be her boyfriend.
Yes.
And then here we are the morning after, and we discussed this last week. You know, is it going to stick? Does he really feel the same way? And it was really nice to know that he did.
He said that even after being sober, I still feel the same way. I still want us to be together. So I thought that was really cool.
Well, I just feel like I wish Raquel would kind of let her barriers down and just be open to things, because she's so defensive and negative all the time.
But she realized that when she went to that class. But
Right.
before we get into that, what I also thought was really funny is she's such an actress and she's such a great liar. You know, when Connor walks in, she's like, "Oh, I'm not feeling so hot," because of course she's pregnant, morning sickness or whatever. And then so he has coffee, and she immediately is like, "Oh, I can't do caffeine because I'm on the cleanse." I mean, she's so on it when it comes to getting her story together. She does not, but she's a great actress.
Right.
Yeah.
Lying to Connor about her not being pregnant or not.
I'm still waiting. When is she going to reveal the pregnancy to somebody? Because won't this affect her if she does finally book a role? Or maybe that's what's going to happen. If she books a role, that's going to come into play later on, because if she's pregnant and...
Well, she has a little bit of time,
Yeah.
and she's been doing like guest spots, and one episode here, one episode there. She's not necessarily at this point booking, steady gigs. I mean, hopefully she will, and then it'll be a factor. But right now, where her career seems to be stunted, she's got some time. In a TV movie, they shoot those pretty quickly.
Yeah. The TV movies they shoot really quick. Which she didn't want the role, and then she decided to take it after she couldn't get anything else. But like she has, I would think she is in the trimester period.
She's in her
Well, her
first
first
trimester.
Yeah, first trimester. Yeah.
And it isn't until about 5 months where women tend to really pop out and show
Yeah.
that they're pregnant. So she has a good. I'm assuming she's about 2 months pregnant, maybe a month. Probably a few weeks at the rate the show's going, with every episode being on a day-to-day. So she's probably a few weeks pregnant. She's got 4 months ahead of her if she kind of just, dresses properly and knows how to cover and hide it well. She can hide it for a while, that's for sure.
Which
Yeah.
I know that happens. So.
Yeah.
Well, what do you guys think as far as, she's getting these roles from her agent who's saying, I have this for you, I'm turning it down. I have this for you, okay, I'm going to turn that down. What do you think? Because I know when you first start off on your career, you may see yourself in certain roles and you don't want to jeopardize it by taking this or taking that because you don't want to be typecast in that role, or you think it may somewhere down the line hinder your success. But she's at that point in her career where she kind of needs the money and she's turning these things down, but it's kind of...
I think that Raquel is kind of on this high horse that she feels that she deserves every lead, and the reality check came in this episode. And not that it wasn't already coming in the last season, but it's really starting to hit home because she's trying to go out for these bigger roles and she's turning things down left and right, which if you're smart in the entertainment business, as long as it's not an Alicia kind of job where you become a hooker or a porn star,
Whatever she is
these days, that isn't the Usher tour, where I feel that she needs to kind of humble herself a little bit in order to go and get the roles that she needs to take, and she's not doing that.
So did she humble herself a little bit when she went to the class?
Okay.
And so let's talk about that. So when she went to the class, you sit in front of your peers, and they tell you the vibe and what you present. And so the other girl, was getting all different kind of comments like, oh, she's all these little nice things. And then the first thing that happens when Raquel sits down, the guy was like, I think she can play a bitch. I mean, so she started getting all of these things. She's scary. She's very guarded, and she was getting all of these things that she knows she is. So she took offense to it and she left. And then so when she went on another audition, something kind of clicked into her head. So she had the blonde wig and she tried to play the character that she wanted to do. She was trying to make a change.
I understand. She wants these lead roles, she wants this and that. But at the same time, they're supporting actors and actresses who have that certain role that they play so well that they can sometimes be better than the lead as far as getting recognized even more than the lead. So if she would just accept the fact, okay, maybe I'm not, this lead warm character, but I can play that bitch on the street, or, the snarky sister, whatever role she was going for. And if she would accept that part of her, then maybe she could turn that into some money instead of trying to get the leads all the time.
Well, here's the thing too. You have to remember that in her mind, she wasn't walking into a classroom with her peers. Those are not her peers. She is definitely like here, they're there. This is her mindset. So the problem that she has is she cannot take constructive criticism. She cannot take criticism at all. And that is what is going to handicap her a little bit in this, because this episode, I think, was a great episode, them focusing on her character for aspiring actors and people that are looking to get into this industry, because this is a serious conversation that managers, agents, and PR people have with their clients. Because you have to remember, and as you guys know, yourself is your product. So when you're so deep in your own head that all you see is this one certain vision, you don't want to accept that, sometimes, you can be this way or that way, or you don't really, you're so focused on what you think is going on. She doesn't want to see anything else, so everybody else is wrong. I don't think she took anything away from that class other than, here's what people want to see, I'm going to be that for this audition.
No, I think that when she went in there, she wasn't expecting to be called out for who she really is. And I think that her run in the entertainment industry prior to this moment has made her jaded, has made her bitchy. And it's showing across the board. I think that's where she kind of isn't that great of an actress, because if she was, she could get past her own normal emotions and ego to be the part that she wants to be, but she can't do that. She's not in the right headspace for that. So when she was in that class, I felt that she, even though she wasn't receiving all the criticism or the actual factual in the best way, and a good example of that is when she got up and she's like, I will tell you exactly what I am. I am a working actress. Right. That right there was her ego.
That was so funny about it.
No, she's not.
And that's the thing. And that's in her saying that out loud to these people that pretty much called her out on her stuff. When she went into that audition, I think in the back of her mind, she was like, I'm going to prove these people wrong. I can be sweet. I can be cute. I can be boop, boop, beep, doop, and she pretty much didn't nail that at all. Yeah. Right. She really tried by changing her look and, putting a bigger smile on her face and rosing up her cheeks.
But what I mean is, as far as her actually taking anything in, personally, I don't believe that she did. Because you can't... I think she knows what people say. She knew it when her agent was telling her on the phone. Like, you could see the look on her face. Like, she was kind of like, well, so when she goes to this place and they all call her out, she knows this. This is nothing she doesn't already know.
I hate to
She's just not at the point where she wants to face it.
I don't mean to be a switcher, but no, you're right.
I don't think that she actually paid attention, is looking at herself and thinking, hey, no, she wants to get a job. She's got this kid. She's freaking out. She is everything that they said she was. She knows this. She's known this forever. She already knows. She just doesn't want to deal with it.
I just had an aha moment about that when you said she's got the kid and she needs the money. I mean, that makes total sense to why the interaction with her and Connor at the end of the episode totally makes sense.
But for him to go,
I mean, come on.
Well, let's talk about that. So, so we have all this with Raquel, and, she's got to, she tried to go do her little, I want to be the girl next door, when she should have taken her agent's advice. She should have read for the part she was originally called in for, because she, it didn't work out in her favor. She's just not that person, as you said before. She doesn't want to admit it. These are things that hopefully we'll see her character work through.
And then once she wanted to take the role, then the role was not it
Right.
wasn't available.
Right. So then we jump over to Connor,
Yeah.
and Connor gets, this is when we're introduced to yet another new character.
Which was a way better introduction than Simon and Beth, I would say.
Yes. Krista Allen, who plays this character, and what was her name? Jennifer
Bell.
Jennifer Bell. And apparently she is a big movie star, and
A-list.
An A-lister. She wants to have a meeting with Connor, and he thinks it's about a movie role. So the thing that I thought was the cutest, him being so new to Hollywood, is he tries to leave after 15 minutes, and she's 15 minutes late, and he's ready to roll out.
Yeah, no. You got to wait the whole hour.
Yeah, it's like everybody's 15 minutes late. When you're 15 minutes late, you're on time.
You're on time.
That's true.
So we're introduced to this new character, and Krista Allen, I love her. I think she's great on all of her stuff, but this is a very interesting dynamic, and this, this kind of stuff, everyone speculates in the tabloids and all of that this happens. But he, thinks he's there for a movie role. She's asking him all these personal questions, and one of the things that people were tweeting is, why would you tell a total stranger that you burned your house down? She asked him a question, tell me a secret, and he actually does.
He's a hot mess.
He's naive.
He's not the smartest. Sometimes he's not the brightest crayon in the box.
Yeah, he's naive.
Yeah, so he really tells her the truth, and then I think that's when it kind of went off in her head, because we find out that she doesn't want him for a movie role. She wants him to play her boyfriend
I like how...
For 6 months.
for 6 months with the option.
Of another 6 months.
I mean, it's a contract. I mean, I thought it was funny. You guys were like, is she gay? Like, why can't she just pick up a man on their own? Which was funny. I couldn't help but to laugh on that
Well, you
one.
know why we thought that.
Why do you think that?
Because allegedly in Hollywood, I'm shut up.
Oh, no.
No, give us the insight.
Right. Allegedly in Hollywood, if you are... I mean, look at Kaldrick, for example.
Mm-hmm.
When you are not playing playing with the opposite team and playing for the same team, you tend to want to shadow it with
Right.
Yeah.
a beard.
I love that this storyline went this way, that it was about her age and not her sexual orientation.
yeah.
It was
that
very
was
much
so different.
It was
than
very
it.
much a Demi Lovato, Ashton Kutcher vibe, where she was saying,
Demi Moore, you mean?
No, Demi Lovato.
Although I like Demi
Demi Lovato's
Lovato.
like 12. Stop it.
Demi Moore, Ashton Kutcher vibe, where she was saying, the 18-year-olds don't even know who I am anymore, so I have to get back into the limelight.
And I need to be relevant.
Right.
Well, I like how she said when they were trading secrets, he's like, "Well, what's your biggest secret?" She's like, "I'm scared of disappearing." So she initially gave him a little insight to what was about to happen.
Yeah.
But
And
he
so
didn't
when they
catch
sit
it.
down with all these lawyers
Mm-hmm.
and she's like, sign the confidentiality and then I'll tell you why you're here. And then she throws down this whole, be my man for 6 months. She didn't even make it about sex. It was just straight up, you're the new hot young thing. I'm the old hot thing. And I want to stay relevant. I don't want to disappear. And that happens a lot
And she has a lot of
Los
clout
Angeles.
right
And
now.
she has a lot of clout. And she says, if we're together for 6 months, you will be the biggest star, and you'll be able to be an A-lister, and you'll be able to carry your own movies and be a star.
Well, the thing is, too, you got to remember, he's a television star. This is his pretty much his first acting job. He's never done a movie. This will bypass so many
much.
steps.
How do I get his life? Like, he just gets all these
Okay.
career options.
I thought
Roll the dice. It's luck, honey.
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, gosh, why can't that be me?
Like, his problems are not real people problems. But
But in his head, he really does have real people problems.
Yeah.
Yes.
He has issues like it's no one's business.
He should be hanging, he should be over in the, talking to someone and getting some real, therapy.
Him and Kaldrick needs to be like
everybody
Yeah.
on the show needs
I
therapy.
know.
They all need to be in the psych
Those
hospital.
two more so than anyone.
Yeah.
But I liked that it went there rather than the obvious that we thought, was she a lesbian? That's the obvious way to go.
But also now in Hollywood, that is really the thing about branding and staying relevant. So I feel that this storyline, like you said, is way better than her being like a gay or bisexual or something. This is relevant. This hits today. This is what everyone talks about. You have to stay relevant. You have to be in the press. You have to call TMZ. You have to do all of those things to stay relevant. And so it hit right on the nail.
It's so much work.
Seriously.
To be fabulous in Hollywood.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
You got to keep, your name has to be on the tip of everybody's tongue.
You do, and that's the thing that people don't realize, especially in this town, that you have to go out and you have to to be seen. And she's like pretty much giving it to him on a platter, and he doesn't even realize it. So when him and Raquel, are coming in at the end of the day, she's in her wig and and he's, his hot mess self, all messy, and he asked her, how was your day? She's like, I don't want to talk about it. She's like, how's your day? I'm not allowed to talk about it.
Yeah.
And when he finally does divulge the information to her, he breaks his confidentiality. He says to her, look, I was offered pretty much to be kind of like a prostitute. I was offered to be her boy toy for 6 months. And I think that in Raquel's head, her ulterior motive is this. If he takes this deal, and then she tells him, by the way, we're having a baby. Because he did say to her, he's like, I don't want to do this. What happened to what you said to me this morning? Don't you still want me to be your boyfriend? And she was like, I absolutely do want to be with you. It's only 6 months. She's pretty much selling him to the devil. And it could hurt her, it could benefit her and hurt her.
Well, one of the things I thought she said was interesting. She says, Jennifer gets the fake you, and then I get the real you.
That's true.
So that was a way to reassure, but we know she has motives in the back of her head. And so do you think that by her saying that this is something that Connor should do you think she's thinking because she's an actress and she kind of knows the game? Do you think she was coming from that perspective, or why do you think that she would just say, I think you should do it?
I think she's coming from both. I think as a working actress, and especially the day that she had, today, I think she's coming from that. She says, this is an opportunity that doesn't come along very often. You've got to take it. And also he needs to make money and establish a career to support this child they're going to have, because I think she doesn't feel like she's going to be able to do it on her own.
No.
Considering the day that she's had, and being pregnant and having to go through all of that is not necessarily going to could hurt her career more than it'll help her.
Well, obviously the wig bothered me, but there's some people who may enjoy that wig or other wigs. So if you do want to purchase, a hair piece or a self-help book or whatever you want, you can go to Amazon. But instead of going to Amazon.com, all we ask is that you go to AFTERBUZZTV.com. There's a banner right at the top, guys. The Amazon banner. You just click that, take you straight to the website. You can make all your purchases through there, and it will help us out. We get a portion of the proceeds to keep it running, so we can keep talking about LA Complex and all your other favorite shows, Pretty Little Liars, America's Best. Actually, that's off right now. Yeah. But all the other after shows we do so many here. Yeah, newsroom, so many here.
Glass House.
Shameless promotion here.
Yes. Shameless plug.
Empire Girls.
But yeah, so please do that. Please do that, and check out all our other after shows. But make sure you go to Amazon through our website, click the banner, and you can make all your purchases there, and we would really appreciate it. Help us out. So, yeah. You guys are so silly.
So somebody just tweeted me and was asking, do we think it's weird that Connor signed the confidentiality agreement before he knew what it was for?
I think yes. I think yes, because when he signed it, yes, it might have said the top was a confidentiality agreement, but that was a lot to paperwork just to sign.
I thought it was only 2 pages.
It was a little bit thicker, but it's all that, lawyer mumbo jumbo stuff. But here's the thing that you have to remember. When you're new in Hollywood and you don't know any better, and you're thinking you've got this A-list movie star sitting in front of you, in your mind, she's about to offer you a movie part. And it happens like this all the time. Not that it's right, but you're going to look at the top, you know what it is. Boom, I'm not going to say anything. What is it?
I totally thought when he was signing the paper, I thought it was going in a whole different direction.
Me too.
I thought it was going to go somewhere along the lines of, I don't know, but just the 6-month arrangement, I just didn't think it was going to. I thought he was signing something, and he was like signing his rights away for TV.
His
or
soul
something.
to the devil.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like signing everything. We're going to no. Well, the thing is, with the confidentiality agreement, the only thing that you're really saying is that you're not going to talk about anything that's discussed from the moment you walk into the room to the moment you walk out of it. Everything that happens in that time frame, you're not allowed to talk about with anyone. So actually, him telling Raquel, they could, and as he says, don't tell anybody because you can, I'll get sued. So, Boy Marvel, thanks for your tweets, and I hope that that we helped clarify that a little bit. But you should always read everything before you sign it, which usually doesn't happen, especially not in Hollywood. That's how so many people get in so many bad contracts. Hence the reason this is called The Contract, this episode today.
Do you read yours? Do you read?
I have my lawyer look at it.
Okay.
I don't have a lawyer, so I have to read my own.
I read mine and I'm like, okay, wait a minute, what does it say?
My fake lawyer.
I'm not that cool. I have to read my own.
I find a friend that is a lawyer. I'm like, can you explain this to me? Because I don't understand it.
Well-
I had to learn how to be a lawyer, so every section 8.25/6, I have to read them all.
Well, let's talk about Abby and Nick.
Yes. So Abby and Nick are they open with their characters happily and blissfully rolling around in bed.
Isn't that how every episode starts recently with them?
With them,
It
yeah,
is.
because they're like horny little kids now. They're all excited to be together, and Nick doesn't want her out of his sight, so that way
I'm
she
not
doesn't
really
go anywhere.
liking them together. It's kind of bugging me.
Well, I don't think it's gonna last.
Okay, I thought
very
it was
long.
me, but I thought it was me, but I was not gonna say anything.
Good. I'm not the only one.
Yes.
I don't know.
I like him with Sabrina.
I do too. I love their dynamic. I think that it's just a better fit. And a big part of me thinks that Abby's just with him for security. It's not really
She needs
like
a place to stay.
She's using him.
Yeah,
to
I
a
don't
certain
really-
degree. But it's also, I think it's
I wish Abby
bittersweet.
would get a better storyline.
Go ahead.
I feel like Abby and Nick, like for Nick, it's he won the girl he wanted, and so that's what's sweet about it for now.
Right.
I like the storyline, the dynamics of how he's clearly liking both women. Although he's saying to Sabrina, I'm with Abby, we're living together. But there is just an attraction that the two that Nick and Sabrina have
Yeah.
that you just cannot deny. And so I like the dynamics. I love the whole little threesome.
I'm sorry, what?
I love the
The
whole
love
little,
triangle.
Yeah, the love triangle.
threesome.
When did that happen?
I love the
Next
three.
episode.
Yeah.
Right.
I like the love triangle between them, but again, Abby's storyline, she needs to get some.
I don't really think there's anything wrong with Abby's storyline. Let's talk about the only thing wrong with Abby's storyline is her agent. She needs to get a new agent.
Yes.
First of all, he annoys me because every time he starts the conversation, oh, hi. Every single time.
Isn't he eating every time too?
Yeah.
Isn't he always eating something?
So he didn't tell her that she booked the role for Saving Grace.
Yes.
That was a big mistake. So she ends up being late.
Yeah, he tells her late and like, well, why are you not there? You're supposed to be there 30 minutes ago.
'Cause you're a
And
horrible
then-
agent.
And then there's a poster. I mean, I'm assuming that there probably are some agents like that. So there's probably some truth to that.
Okay, but I could see if he was a busy agent. He doesn't even look like he has many clients.
That's why he's stuffing his face all the time.
I like it because again, you have a lot of people in Hollywood that talk like they're big stuff,
Right.
And they're bums like this guy. So I can respect that.
At least he has an office.
Well, and
Yeah.
at least he's actually getting her auditions and
Well,
she
is that
booked
office
something.
really his room? We don't know.
That's true.
Well, let's talk about this, though, because when she's leaving the apartment, she bumps into Connor and he spills the coffee on her. And she's like, oh, does this look okay? Because she takes her top off and she just wears the bra top. It would have taken like 5 minutes to just go upstairs and get a new shirt. Why didn't
Take
she?
his shirt.
It
It'll
would
dry.
have it would have taken like 2 minutes.
I thought she was going to
The
take her
complex
shirt.
isn't-
I did too.
It's not that big.
I
Like, the
thought,
com-
I thought she was going to take her shirt, or she was going to take his shirt.
I absolutely thought the same thing. It was like, first of all, she's wearing a man shirt to begin with as she's running out the door.
Yeah.
That would just make sense. But then the coffee went on both of them.
Right.
Yeah, but his was more so on the bottom of the shirt. You know what I mean? She could have tucked it in.
Well,
Or how
that
come-
and her pants were all wet from the coffee too.
Wait,
How
but,
come she didn't have an extra shirt in the car?
but what I was going to say is when she got to set, wardrobe was going to fit her in whatever she's wearing for the show anyway, so it didn't really matter, except
She
for first
could've-
impression.
Yeah.
Right.
And so she really, I mean, if she would have knew better, she could have just went into her trailer. She could have grabbed the shirt before going to see the director.
Isn't this something that we talked about in the very beginning of season 1 when she didn't have any water in her car?
Yeah.
Remember, guys?
Yeah, I thought about that
the
too.
LA trunk, everything
Right.
that you're supposed to have in your trunk when you live in Los Angeles:
Mm-hmm.
a change of clothes, some bottled water, and beach stuff. Always.
No, absolutely. She's not prepared, and that's obvious. And the sad thing
She's
is,
never prepared.
No. I mean, but she's naive to the whole system of how
Mm-hmm.
how it works, and hopefully by the end of the season, she kind of like gets on the horse and gets with the program.
Yeah.
But I think for her, she's just completely clueless, and for her to show up to this Christian television show when she was dressed like a hooker, wearing a bra, like I wanted to reach through the screen and just smack her.
She said, I got it from American Apparel. It's called the bra top. Like, what?
And she's going to a Christian show.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm.
Well, maybe do you think she knew how how Christian-like the show was.
Yeah,
I don't
she
think
from her audition.
She knew.
When they called her a prostitute when she was wearing a dress, and now she comes in a bra top and shorts.
I was just trying to not be negative and just try and say something positive.
It's okay
but
to be
clearly-
mean, honey.
Okay.
Keep it real.
This
Yeah.
is one of those
But-
moments where you can be mean.
So can we talk about now when she was on set?
Well,
Which part?
So when she has a meeting,
nipples?
so when she has a meeting with I'm just gonna say Alan Thicke because
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
Alan Thicke, the writer producer.
Love him, by the way.
And so he wants her to do a standard morality clause, and then so if she sees anything amongst the other cast members, she must report it. I mean, who the hell? I've never been on. Have you heard of a set like that?
but it's
crazy.
a Christian
But it's a
network.
Christian
It's a Christian
show.
network, so I don't think it's really that out there. But
I think for the most part, with the kind of show and the network that it's on, they're trying to avoid, and I hate to say this, but call it what it is, Lindsay Lohan moments, where she's playing this really cutesy Disney person, and then she's this hot mess outside in public.
Yeah.
Right.
They're trying to protect it all across the board. Now, the part of if you see anything, tell us, the whole ratting things out thing, that's not cool. No, it's not cool.
No, but also again, it goes back to because remember, this is a morality clause, and what he says to her is this: your etiquette has to be like this on and off the set. So wherever you are, it all goes back to read what you sign.
yeah.
So I'm wondering if that's going to play a part later
And
on.
that actually does, and that actually does happen a lot here in Hollywood, where you have people like for actors who are like 175, 50 years old, and they're playing like teenagers, and so when they're in public, they can't like have beer and other things like that
Right.
because people think that they're teenagers. So I get that, but I think what makes Abby's storyline now interesting is when she walked in on the two characters who are brothers and sisters on the TV show, but they're making out and they've been
oh no, they're
yeah.
getting it on.
Yeah, they were
doing
getting it on.
nasty.
And so they've been together for the show's been on for 6 seasons, and they've been together since season 1. And so only the two of them know, and then the gay makeup artist. And so now she has to be a part of this big lie. And so I'm sure it's gonna probably come. This is gonna blow up at some point.
what bothered me was the Laura character, her co-star who was getting it on with the Brandon.
Yeah.
She came on a little too aggressive, like, "Oh my God, I will slit your throat." Like,
No, I would have done the same thing if I were her, because here she is on this Christian television
feisty.
show, 6 years. They've been together now for 3 years. They've managed to keep their relationship under wraps for 3 years because they said that Alan Thicke's character is psycho.
Yeah.
He's
And-
absolutely crazy. And for them to be able to keep it on the DL for as long as they have, they have a lot to lose.
They have a lot to lose, yeah.
When you're playing a lead role on a show, which they are lead characters, the brother and the sister, that's a lot of money you're talking about. That's a
and
reputation.
syndication money too.
Well, and plus their relationship, she could lose her job and her relationship.
Yeah.
So that's definitely not something you want to play with.
But I do agree with you that she came off a little too strong, and then like, oh hey, let's go out for drinks later.
I mean, I got what they were doing though, but the thing is, when they went to the arcade, they got drinks, right? So if they're supposed to be on this Christian network and you're in Hollywood, there's always somebody watching. So how could they go out for drinks without?
It looked like they had sodas.
Maybe that. I mean,
I mean,
a drink that can be.
can you
soda,
even
can be
get
water.
drinks at an arcade?
Do they have arcades?
Depending.
If you're
at
at
a
Dave
bar?
and Buster's,
Yeah,
yes.
David. I was gonna say Dave and Buster's.
Dave and
Yeah.
Buster's, but I know we don't have a Dave and Buster's in downtown LA, so I don't know where they were.
I think it's
but
like in Anaheim.
Yeah.
yeah, but also, if you're a producer, director, and the person that controls your livelihood and your whether you can be on the show or not is that psycho and crazy, why are you doing it in the dressing room without the door locked?
Where anybody could walk in.
Where
Exactly.
anyone can walk. Yeah.
They were being careless. Maybe they're just so. Sometimes when you have a secretive thing going on, it's exciting
Well,
to
that's
just
what makes it hot.
do
but
it
still,
and- yeah.
lock the door.
Well, one of the things that we noticed at the end of this scene was with Abby and Connor. Connor called Abby, and he was just trying. No, not Connor. Nick. Abby and Nick. Nick called Abby trying to get a little bit of advice because obviously he had a horrible day at work.
Right.
And he just wanted to talk to her. And this is where we saw where Abby's, I don't want to say career, but you can see there's going to be a little break because she can't fully devote to him like he wants.
Right, but then also because she's stuck in now in this big secret. She couldn't talk because of music, so the circumstances for both of them was just didn't work.
I'm sorry, I don't buy that crap. She is just selfish, and it goes back to me not really liking their characters being together and thinking she's just using him, because even in the morning she gets that call, she runs out, she's late. It's his first day at a job too, and she doesn't even acknowledge it. She's too wrapped up in her own stuff, and she bolts. She doesn't even, she walks over to the side. If you can walk over to the side, walk outside and answer the phone. That's your boyfriend. You know what I mean? Give them the courtesy to do that. Yeah. You know what it goes. She's just way too selfish and wrapped up in her own thing, and that's why I don't feel like she cares about him to the extent that he does, because even Sabrina is encouraging him to speak up in their meetings, and that way he doesn't get let go, and you have to talk, you have to do this, don't be stupid. And she's in, you know what I mean? Yeah, even though that's jeopardizing her own kind of thing too.
And they're also very competitive, but she looks out for him.
Yeah, exactly. I like that. It was his first day at his new job. He's never been in the writer's room. She was trying to give him helpful tips throughout the whole day, just kind of nudge him.
Even if it's a little sarcastic and condescending, it's still, that's their thing.
But that's their relationship.
Right, exactly. But the fact that she pinches him, makes him stand up, makes him speak out loud, and Abby doesn't even have the decency to stop and wait and say, "Oh, hey, have a good day." Kind of shitty.
Well, Sabrina's gonna swoop on in.
No, I agree. I totally.
It's just, I don't know. I just think that she should stop for us. They're starting to annoy me more and more every episode when I see that.
Well, that's good. Well, I think that she just needs help with her kid. Nothing she does I like.
Okay.
Sorry,
No, but you know what? It's all right though. It's okay to not like her character and her storyline, because it is kind of crappy.
And I also never thought about her being selfish. So that just makes me dislike her.
Oh my God!
She does not look out for her man, and her man is helping her. He's giving her an apartment. She's living there for free. Yeah, she's not looking out for her dude, and she needs to.
Well, she needs to look out for him, because she doesn't look out, somebody else will.
Well, somebody else is trying.
Yeah.
Well, and two, in her defense too, she is really young. She's in a different country. She's in a different city. She's trying to do her own thing, and I think maybe
she's had a boyfriend before.
But maybe this isn't malicious. Maybe she just doesn't know how to balance, and she just, you know what I mean. And she's just it's a little overwhelming, maybe.
Not too late.
We can't make up excuses for her.
Too late now.
Not at all.
I still don't like it. I'm just saying. I'm trying to be, look on the other side.
Well, on the other side, Nick does still have Sabrina in the wings, and it's unfortunate now where she's encouraged him to step up and say something, where he actually came out with a semi-decent idea for Paul's show. They find out at the end of the day that they don't have budget for both of them. They only have budget for one. And so now it brings them from having this really great chemistry and being able to play off of each other to now we're competing against each other once again.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, what truly sucks about that is right before that, when she kissed him and then he told her about Abby. So now I feel like if he didn't tell her that right before, they could have still had that chemistry, still being competitive, but still kind of used each other, because he kind of lost without her. He's not that funny. She supports and nudges him to, speak up. So without her helping him, I don't think he really has a chance surviving.
Yeah, once he mentioned the whole "I'm with Abby and we're staying together," and then that news dropped. Okay, she was like, "Okay, you're on your own."
Yeah, I got this now.
I was really hoping it would be something nice where they can split, they could split the pay. But now he messed up, and so she's gonna go after him.
Yeah, now it's on.
Yeah. But of course, they're probably gonna get it on that way too, because we saw.
We saw it in the preview.
Oh yeah, so he's gonna have to try to save his job.
Yeah. Before we go to iTunes and talk about Cal, can we talk a little bit about the new storyline with the girl and the little boy?
Oh, Simon and Beth.
Well, people were tweeting actually, who is this homeless chick with the kid brother?
Okay, thank you. I don't. And then you drive down from Canada in one day.
She was calling it.
Because it was revealed that Connor burned the house down 2 days ago.
Okay, but the thing is, what part of Canada were you in? They left at night, in the middle of the night.
And bam, now they're here the next.
First thing in the morning.
It was like the sunrise. How did you got there in a couple of hours?
It wasn't even 7 o'clock yet. It was probably 6:30 in the morning.
How did you get there that fast?
And then you just so happened to land at the LA complex. and then you're having a meeting with Eddie.
Wait,
Oh,
that was the thing I was gonna say. How did she find the place so freaking fast?
Oh, because I saw the sign. So
It
you were
doesn't
just
work
driving-
like that out here.
Yeah, it just does not.
No, there's signs. You just gotta call people and hope they
Right.
answer.
Yeah.
Like you don't just happen upon. Oh yeah, I saw the sign. Oh, you have a room. Oh, that's great. Let's move in.
Yeah, it was too easy. It was too easy, and then so she can't afford it, and so of course, she does the whole. She does make some suggestions about the repairs, and so she's a repair woman as well.
All of a sudden, she's an electrician.
She's a
She can do
Very
it all.
savvy chick. Now, despite
I
the
agree with that.
despite the getting there in 24 hours kind of a thing, or 12 hours, I think that with her character, them landing in LA, they're on top of the hill overlooking the overlooking LA, and for them to, I mean, they could be right up at the top of like Mulholland, drive down on Highland, and there is the LA complex.
Yeah.
That's true.
So it's
they were
very-
at the Overlook.
Yeah,
So
it's
whatever.
It's a centrally located
Yeah.
thing.
Well, why don't you guys go to iTunes, download our podcast, please rate and comment. Let us know what you think of the show. Let us know what you think of these new characters. We're not really kind of getting it right now, but maybe there's something we're missing. Is there something that you guys see that we don't? It really helps us out when you leave comments and, rate us. It'll help us, kind of make the show better, and we want to get your opinions. So please go to iTunes and you can download our show along with all the other great shows we do here at AfterBuzz.
And thanks to the people, we actually had some people leave comments and
Yes.
ratings on iTunes and YouTube. So thanks for that,
And
guys.
don't forget about the podcast app.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So the podcast app, it's a new app called Podcast, and basically what it does is it organizes all of your subscriptions. So all the shows that you have for AfterBuzz, say Dallas and Fallen Skies and whatever else.
America's Got Talent.
America's Got Talent, Scandal, and of course LA Complex. It organizes all of it. It organizes it for you. So it's a really great app.
And
so
it's
you guys
free.
make sure that you go to iTunes and download the podcast app.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Now let's talk about Cal. This was deep. Obviously we've all liked the storyline from the beginning, but we're starting to see another side of him where he's vulnerable. Yeah, he's human and vulnerable. And we opened up where he's in the hospital bed and his homie's there. What is his homie's name?
No, that's the producer.
No,
No, that's not. That's his childhood friend.
Yeah.
Just we don't know his name though.
I
forget.
I hate saying this, especially with me being black, but they look alike.
I mean, dude
Why you
looks
gotta
kind
be
of rough.
racist?
I'm sorry because I'm sorry, but
Well,
I thought it was a producer. I'm sorry.
I will say
They
this.
do. They are very similar. They have similar features.
Oh, you
They
meant
do.
the producer and the friend? I thought you meant him and Cal. I was like, oh.
no, I'm talking about when
Cal and his friend.
I'm talking about when Cal was in the hospital. The producer said,
No, that was his friend.
No,
That was
that's his
child.
friend. That's his
Okay.
childhood friend. This like his
I'm
assistant
enforcing
or
the stereotype. I'm so sorry.
It's all good, honey.
All black people look the same.
No, but it's his childhood friend that's grown up with him and's kind of had his back and is the one that's gonna erase everything for him.
Okay.
And kind of keep up his rough rep.
Well, he talks about he tells Cal,
So that's his best. You think he knows?
It's his no.
No, he doesn't know. He doesn't
Nobody
know.
knows.
Okay.
Except for the producer and Tariq.
And Tariq.
But he tells him, the doctor's going to come in, ask you some questions. I need you to say no to everything, and then we can get out of here. Just say no, no, no. And what does Cal do? He says yes, 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 to every question.
He's not ready to leave.
Right.
And naturally, his friend wants him to, all right, come on, let's get up and move on. Let's keep moving forward, kind of a thing. And let's keep doing you, kind of a thing.
Because he doesn't know how deep
I
this
feel like that's
trauma is.
That's not a real friend. Though. If I tried to commit suicide, I wouldn't want to be rushed out of the hospital by my friend. Like, let me live.
No, but I do get that. I get that, and I get it because he's a rapper. He's famous, and there's more that he can lose if word got out that he was in some in some
and we
ward.
find out that it did.
Yeah.
So it already got leaked, and they just want to get him out of there, and they don't know the severity of what he's going through. So they just, and a lot of times we don't have time to deal with this. We need to keep you on track. We need to do this, and we'll figure that out later. And he obviously needs to talk to somebody.
And he knows it. And it's really sad because here he is. He says yes to all the questions. He's admitted into the psych hospital. And
then he wants to go off on everybody. You touch him, he's ready
So
to fight.
defensive.
But
Very
he's always
defensive,
been.
but
Right.
always been defensive. But what I thought was so funny is you can tell the old black guy who was just standing there in that same spot the whole time, not looking at anybody. And so Kaldrick totally goes off on him. And
What they call him, the abyss.
Yeah, he's in
Yeah.
this. The poor man hasn't spoken in 4 years. And so I thought that was really funny.
Well, he had his Cal had his group therapy session.
Yeah,
and
I'm sorry you explained.
Yeah, he had his group therapy session and he wasn't really opening up at all. Then he had his one-on-one session with the doctor, still didn't open up.
He looked like he wanted to almost.
He wanted to open up, but you know, it was sad seeing those moments because he really wants to open up. He wants to tell somebody. He can't tell anybody. All he had was Tariq. Tariq was probably one of the only people he's opened up to about his sexuality, and then obviously Tariq hates him now.
Yeah.
And the wording and the way that the script is written, the doctor said, "Just say it out loud. It will help."
Mm-hmm.
And you could tell that really hit him, where he really felt like he wanted to, and he absolutely just could not man up and say what he had to say. But I thought that was really powerful.
There was one thing that, and I don't know, I was reading on Twitter some of the comments too. I don't know if there's another character that's going to come into play. Somebody was saying maybe a dad will come in or something. But when there was somebody else in group therapy, the one he went off on, the thing that he said was, "We won't judge you here." And I don't know if there's somebody in his past who maybe he told and he tried to open up and then there was some judgment. And that's why he's so closed off before his career started, maybe.
No, I think the judgment comes from within himself. And he still is not ready to accept the fact of who he is. And it's hard for him to say it out loud. Just like it's hard for Raquel to say out loud that I am a bitch. I am jaded.
Or
it's hard
anyone-
for him to say.
Well, that's why I
Or
think it
anyone
was.
who does drugs, no one wants to
Right.
say I do drugs or I do crack.
Well, that's why when his friend came and basically forced him to leave, I thought it was really powerful when he goes to the old man that's standing there, still standing in that one position, and he says what he says in that very derogatory way, because I think that's how he feels about it.
See, again, I thought that was not the producer who said, "Come on, let's
No,
go."
that's his friend. That's his friend.
His friend
Damn.
came to his rescue.
Yeah, his friend
Okay.
comes to his rescue, but he goes to the man and he says it out loud as the doctor suggested, but he said it in a very derogatory way because I think he feels like
That's
how he feels.
That's how he
and he
feels,
hugged
yeah.
him and he cried.
And he cried and he
I
let it out.
like that he actually went and said it out loud.
Mm-hmm.
He needed to do that, especially with him being forced to leave the hospital prior to him being ready to go. He needed to say it out loud. And knowing that this man has not spoken in years, that was the safest person he
Right.
could ever say it to.
I know it was,
And
that
get it off his chest and say it out loud.
I was secretly, I know it would have been corny, but I was secretly waiting for like the man to be like, "It's okay," or something like that.
yeah, I kind of was too, I have to admit.
For him to just like all of a sudden he speaks after all this time.
I'm gonna tell everybody now.
And that
No.
would have just freaked the hell out of Kellie.
Yeah, but no, I thought
He'll
it
probably
was.
start beating him.
I thought it was great though that he got to get it out. So hopefully this will help him a little bit on his journey to self-discovery and dealing with this and really working it out.
Well,
That's a very serious
I hope so too. But let's take a quick commercial break, have some news and gossip, and then we'll wrap it up.
All right.
Hey there, good buddies. The handle's Wooly Bear. I'm a truck driving man, but I'm not that old school kind of truck driving man, no. I like to listen to podcasts while I'm driving through these great United States of ours. And my favorite podcasts in the world are from AFTERBUZZ TV. And why? Because AFTERBUZZ TV's like a post-game wrap-up show for all your favorite TV shows. Like Jersey Shore, Dancing with the Stars, Mad Men, and a whole truckload more. I like listening to my Gossip Girl podcast, catching up with all my fellow fans and getting all the latest news and gossip. No, I got some strong opinions. And AFTERBUZZ TV lets me share those opinions with thousands of other listeners. Woo-wee, what a feeling. I used to doze off on those lonely stretches of road. And don't worry, I got the cruise control. But now I'm wide awake and listening to all the AFTERBUZZ TV goodness. Check them out, give them a holler, and tell them the old Woolly Bear sent you.
Oh, that woolly bear.
All right, news and gossip.
AFTERBUZZ TV News.
Okay, so for season 2 episode 1, the ratings was 661,000. So
that's
higher.
That's better. That's higher.
yeah,
I'm surprised they got that many. There was no promotion.
Yeah.
it's higher.
Seriously,
Hasn't-
CW.
Still hasn't cracked 1 million, but
We'll take it.
Yeah.
But also they've got the Canadian ratings and all of that, so it's getting a lot of
so
hits.
between the two, it can maybe hit 1 mil. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
Hit me? What? I'm just kidding.
good
You
one.
like that?
I did. And then also the creator Martin Greco said that he still believes that LA Complex is going to do well, and he said that we're making the show that we made last year. I think that it's just better. It's more confident. It looks a lot better, and that he also feels fortunate that we've been given an opportunity to have people find the show, and so people forget about it. But we're talking about how it's one of the best shows of the season, and so he's confident that the show is gonna.
It's a great show.
I think that CW just really needs to invest in some promotion for it,
And I think
it would
it's getting
blow
stronger.
up.
But you can't promote. You can't put money into a show that's not bringing money. So if it's
if they would promote though. It's
But
a great show.
But they could be promoting in Canada because I think it starts earlier and it lasts longer. So their promotion may be going there.
We're in a different country.
Right,
I know, but
because it's overlapping,
Yeah.
maybe that's an issue.
But what I'm saying, if a show can't crack 1 million, that's not a lot of money because the money comes from the.
But just looking overall at CW shows, they're struggling as a network regardless.
Yeah.
So I mean, I used to say promote, but if it's not bringing in.
But
anything,
even social media wise, that's not necessarily a big expense to do a lot of social media stuff. So there are ways to promote it without necessarily breaking the budget.
Just hire us.
So seriously.
yeah,
I need a job, seriously.
we all need a job. I need a job.
But yeah, let's do some quick predictions.
Yes.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
So Connor and Raquel, is she gonna tell him finally she's pregnant next episode?
No,
Probably not.
I think he's gonna walk in on her having morning sickness and be like, "What is going on?" And she's gonna have to.
I think she's gonna prolong it. I say probably toward episode 8 or 9.
Really specific there, like that.
Wow. I'm gonna have to go with you on that one.
Because
I say
it makes the story better. She'll
Mm-hmm.
probably get a part or something, and at some point when she's probably like made it or she's on the verge, then she's gonna get pregnant. Then she's gonna be in the
But I
dilemma.
wonder if she's gonna tell him. Like, I think he's gonna have to walk in and like see something going down and be like, "What is wrong with you?"
Ooh.
That's what I think. I don't know
I
if she's
predict-
necessarily gonna.
I predict that Connor is going to walk in on her having maybe a miscarriage.
Oh,
Yeah, I also thought about a miscarriage too.
interesting.
I think there's a miscarriage in her future. Sorry, honey. But that just makes the show dramatic, and it already is. And I think that he's going to be like, why didn't you tell me about this, and freak out. And that's going to push him more into Jennifer Bell's arms.
Yeah,
And he might opt for that extra 6 months.
I do think that their relationship is gonna be more than just an arranged.
It has to be. That would be boring. Nick and Abby. Obviously, Nick's gonna sleep with Sabrina.
Yeah.
What's gonna happen to Abby though? Because she
Abby's
needs
gonna-
that place to stay.
Abby's gonna fall on her head and just.
I think she's gonna sleep with Brandon. I see some tension there. There's some sexual tension there.
it might get a little freaky over there. So maybe
They might be doing the twins doing a threesome. There's your threesome.
Yeah.
Simon and Beth, I'm not really concerned with them. Cal, I'm waiting to see what's next from him. It's gonna be an
Yeah.
interesting storyline.
And I'm
think that-
hoping Tariq come back.
Yeah, I hope Tariq comes back. I
Soon.
hope that Cal gets some therapy going on. And I hope that when he comes back that they can actually sit and say, you know what, we're in love, deal.
Yeah.
And we have to say goodbye. So let's all give our handles. I'm Bamm Ericsen on Twitter.
Miriam Gonzalez on Twitter.
I'm Kellie with an IE 079.
And I'm at Emile Ennis Jr. and ChasingLA.com.
All right. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll talk to you next week.
Yeah.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.